Good evening, friends.
Good evening, everyone. And today we have an very interesting video, interesting story as to how the script of depression theory, bipolar theory, has been associated with the likes of many Bollywood actors and actresses, and we'll be showing you how exactly they were trying to frame Sushant Singh Rajput's case by saying that he was depressed and that he had bipolar disorder, and even the media to some extent sort of made him look like he was a depressed person. So we'll be explaining all those bits. So yeah, it's over to you.
So first, we'll just start with the Toon Tale. Yeah. So here we have today's Toon Tale, which is about riding on both sides. Okay. So you can see the lady. She's both on the right winger side as well as the Bollywood mafia, and the two people on the sides are also of the same nature. So she tries to drag them along, though they are not too happy about it. So she says, "Come, Vivekji and Anupamji, for a jolly ride." So you can easily guess who this is, and this is for today's today's Toon Tale, and it has been inspired by Maya Jagannathan, who said that she'd love to see such a cartoon. So that's for you, Maya, and for all of you viewers. Okay, so let us move to the first piece of the main news today. See, as you know, friends, there has been a very strong strategy ever since Sushant died to frame him as a bipolar patient. And this was pushed by two people significantly, and that was Mahesh Bhatt and RheaChakraborty. Now, why you will wonder why I brought this up again. Okay, so today, we were listening to an interview of this pop singer, okay, Honey Singh. Now, he's been missing from the scene for 5 years. And if you listen to his story, he had a very harrowing experience. And it is from his mouth that he says that for 5 years he became handicapped, and that he didn't know. See, he was dishing out good numbers, and he was doing very well, but he suddenly didn't know what was happening with him. He didn't know exactly what was happening. So let us see when this pop singer is actually telling you what happened to him. Then you connect the dots, right? You go back to what Deepika said, okay, and then you go to what Mahesh Bhatt's own daughter wrote a whole book about, okay. Then you know who Mahesh Bhatt accused of. It was Parveen Babi, okay, and then there was Manisha Koirala. So there's a whole batch of people who underwent depression and, in many cases, this bipolar disorder. So it was the easiest way to make Sushant look bad. Now, everybody knows that Sushant was a very intelligent man, and he was in no way had any characteristics that belongs to today's Bollywood bimbos, or to these, what you call chocolate face boys. So it was, and they realized that he's not going to toe their line, and it is high time that we settled him once and for all. So, while I was just connecting the dots, I was just reading through a lot of stuff. And, the first thing that struck me was that, drugs with a definite propensity which causes such manic symptoms include levodopa, corticosteroids, and anabolic androgenic steroids. Antidepressants of the tricyclic and monoamine oxidase inhibitor classes can induce mania in patients with pre-existing bipolar affective disorders. Okay, drugs can rewire other parts of the brain that affect mood and behavior, and drug abuse and addiction can cause changes in the brain that lead to bipolar disorder. Even people who are mentally healthy before the addiction can develop bipolar disorder. So here, this last sentence, even people who were mentally healthy before their addiction can develop bipolar disorders. Okay, so here, let me tell you, in Sushant's case, there were reports that Ria had said that Sushant had a mental illness. You remember the time when Mahesh Bhatt said that, see, Sushant was complaining about hearing voices. And you also remember what ZTV had done very cleverly. Who is ZTV? ZTV is best friends with Ekta Kapoor. Okay. And it was Sudhir Chowdhury who exposed the story on their behalf. So when I say on their behalf, it is we are talking about Ria's side. And he showed, Sushant in a very weak state on his bed, where Ria is dictating orders and treating him like a kid, and saying, making him feel that he's okay and all that. But when you know that he's being drugged. So it is, see, just like what Jay just now said, that media also has an equal hand in what has happened, So similarly, these two people, this Buddha and this Ria, have played a major role in trying to portray this very intelligent boy as a bipolar patient. Now, you remember what Lavena Lodh had spoken in our sessions. She had very clearly said that, see, anybody acting in this man's films or this, not only Mahesh Bhatt, his brother is equally the same type, Mukesh Bhatt. So if they acted in his film, let me add one more, that is Vikram Bhatt, their nephew as well. So if you acted in any of these films, they will make you take drugs to say that, see, you will act better with drugs. You will emote better. This is exactly what she said. And she also said that her husband, used to keep sachets of drugs in his pocket all the time, and that's why he used to smell so terrible. Now he was the one who was peddling drugs in the when the shooting was going on. Now, see, when you hear about what Ria did, see, Ria alleged in her complaint, that Rajput was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was undergoing treatment for various other mental and health issues. And that Rajput was not, Sushant was not disciplined in following the treatment and would often abruptly stop his medications. On June 8, 2020, Sushant showed me messages he and his sister had exchanged in which Priyanka sent him a list of medicines to take. I explained to him that he has already been prescribed medicines by doctors who are treating him. These were the words of Ria. Meanwhile, the NCB had summoned Ria again for the several times in this regard about the detailed report of the findings of the court. Now, this, even the doctor that he was seeing was a doctor that Mahesh Bhatt had sort of referred, and that is Susan Walker. So his therapist, she was the one who was talking about the actor's mental health issues, saying that he would seek therapy from her, during that time. Then later she made a U-turn telling Barkat that about his severe condition and how Ria was having a very tough time. So she said, and she also said that Sushant was suffering from depression and bipolar disorder. In light of the information and conspiracy theories raging on social media about Sushant Singh, she says, I've decided it's my duty to make a statement. In my capacity as a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist, I met Sushant and Ria on several occasions in November and December 2019 and communicated again with Ria in June of this year. She added that the stigma around mental illness can be harmful for a patient. So here you'll see how they are building up the narrative to condemn him and finally say that he committed suicide because he was bipolar. Now, why all this comes up is when we are talking about a person like Honey Singh. As you know, the Honey Singh, the rapper, the singer, who's known for his very dirty lyrics and controversy, he was also heavily into some sort of mood alternatives, because you remember he was caught in a huge case with his wife, where his wife had said that she had been beaten up by him. So there was certainly something wrong going on in his life. And as you know, see, it could have been drugs. He's been very candid in many of his interviews, admitting the fame and his mental issues had him turn to alcohol to self-medicate in the early 2000s. So, though he doesn't mention drugs, we can also understand what else he would have undergone. He says it was a dark phase, and I don't think there's any point in hiding it. That's my message to all my brothers and sisters out there. Don't hide this. People used to ask me where I was for a couple of years, and I felt it was important to tell my fans about myself. I was unwell. Now I'm better, you know. And when he says in this interview, he says that a couple of years, no, he actually was away from the scene for 5 years, you know. And his relatives were telling him that, see, please do not go away. You have contracts with big musical companies, and they will sue you. So he said, first let me get my life in order. I don't know what I'm thinking. My mind is racing. Something was terribly going wrong in his whole body and his system and all that. And he says, I didn't want to do anything. He was depressed also. So, very, very clearly, he knew that this was the end for him. And if he didn't help himself, he was doomed. So, what do you see in what he says that was very similar to what Deepika said some years back? She said that I didn't feel like living anymore, and she went on to, speak about her depression in every platform that she got. So she said, my ambition in life was that if I could just save one life, then my purpose was solved. And she says that, when Amitabh Bachchan asked her in one of the programs, Hum Bane, Kaun Banega Crorepati, she said, suddenly, मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मेरे पेट में एक अजीब सा फीलिंग होता है, एक खालीपन मैं महसूस करती थी. I used to get a very weird feeling that there was an emptiness inside my stomach. The actress said, I didn't feel like going to work or meeting anybody. I did not want to go out. I didn't feel like doing anything. Many times, I don't know if I should say this, but I didn't feel like living anymore. I felt I had no purpose. And during this time, my parents had come to visit me in Mumbai from Bangalore. So when they were leaving for the airport, I started crying suddenly. My mother noticed that there was something wrong with me. She felt something was off with the way I was crying. It was not the usual cry. The way I was crying, it was like a cry for help. She asked me to visit a psychiatrist. I did at that and recovered after many months. But mental health is something that you cannot forget about even after you recover. It's something you have to take care of. I've introduced some lifestyle changes now. Now, why I'm talking about Deepika Padukone is that because this rapper, Honey Singh was referred a doctor by none other than, Besham Rang, Deepika Padukone. Now you can imagine, see the connection, okay? So, and he went to see that same doctor. And during this time, when these 5 years, when he was undergoing this sort of ups and downs, do you know who the people who advised him? So they were Shah Rukh Khan and Akshay Kumar. I don't know whether they are the best advisors, but there seems to be something else that is linking all of them together. Okay. So now when you talk about Deepika Padukone, you remember we had a session with an anonymous person who was, who had revealed the, the inner workings of a dating app, and how she was forced to take, certain drugs in her drinks, and how, she became completely a slave to them. And it is the same thing that happens when you enter Bollywood or the television industry. There are many ways that these people can blackmail you by, putting things in your drink, or making you, even if you're conscious, you take it without thinking that it's only a small drug. So there are lots of things that can happen, when you are socializing. You could just leave your glass, unguarded. Someone could slip it in, and then you're caught in some compromising position. You're photographed, and then for the rest of your life, you'll have to compromise. Okay, so when you're talking about this, the lady that who had explained that, she said that these drugs are so terrible that they are mixed with actually medication. So it changes your character. It adds many dimensions to your character. It makes you masculine. It makes you oversexed. It makes you, it makes you feel, your body is sort of, it gives you flushes, and you feel as though everything, you feel disoriented, you feel depressed, and of course you feel these kind of indications that bipolar disorder, has. So here what I'm trying to tell you is that, see, you look at this party here. This party became the focus. You remember when Samir Wankade was in charge. This was everybody, and a person from BJP also said that this was a drug party, which of course Karan Johar dismissed. But you could see from the looks on everybody's faces that this was not an alcoholic party, it was something more. And they were hiding sachets of powder behind their, backsides. So this is something that, So let me just take a few comments, Jaidev, as we go. They're drugged and tell them to abuse a child, beat up and sodomize, and take pictures with videos too. Yes, blackmail is very, very important part of their lives. I wonder how her family tolerates her husband. Meenaji, you should call an experienced psychiatrist on the show, at least with an experience of 10, 20 years to dispel the myths about it. This is going too far. Yes, absolutely. We will do that. It's Karthik. See, let me tell you something. See, the moment I heard Honey Singh's interview today, I was shocked. Because, see, this guy, first, I remember when Sheila Dikshit was alive, she also encouraged him. And she was trolled because the songs of, the lyrics of a song were very dirty, oversexed, And when an old lady like Sheila Dikshit was praising him, people said that, see, what are you praising? Do you know the meaning of his songs? So I remember at that time, this man was, at the peak of his power, and he was going into all these songs, the Pani Pani and all that. And he was saying that, see, half the things I was doing without, far away, not even in the music studio. So he underwent a hell of a time. And Karthik, the moment I heard this, I knew, see, these are the symptoms. See how cleverly Mahesh Bhatt and RheaChakraborty and the whole gang, who are responsible for what happened to Sushant, did to Sushant, did to our Sushant. And that is why we are fighting. Okay. So let me connect the dots with the other people as well, who said it was only depression, but when they were all undergoing the same damn thing. Okay. So let's just take a few more comments, Jaidev. So money speaks. Now, anything for money for them. I mean, no offense to people who have serious depression, mental health, but these people just make it all about money. Vishali, so funny with you. Suddenly, some pharmacy guy wanted to endorse her for some drugs. Just saw one holy song of Ranbir and Shraddha on FB for 2 seconds. Horrid. Yes, absolutely. So much of vulgarity. And they're drugged, yes. So we spoke about that. So now if you move on to other people, let me just make it a point to talk about everybody. Now you talk about Manisha Koirala. You remember Manisha Koirala is another artist who was very, who fitted into the Bollywood scene very, very snugly, and she was getting many roles. So which means that she was doing all the right things,
Wait,
And
sorry.
yes.
Yeah, let's go back in time. And when was Manisha Koirala a successful actress? It was during the 90s, and I believe a bit of the early 2000s. After that, she was nowhere to be seen, right? Because one of her most successful films was Dil Se with Shah Rukh Khan, and also a few Tamil films with the likes of Kamal Haasan, like Indian, I believe. And so after that, she was nowhere to be seen, and so she had a very serious drug and alcohol addiction, right, which she had, right, and then later she got cancer. Yeah, so you could tell more about this.
Yeah. So here, see, again, Manisha has a particular, see, in her case, she was a good actress, but she had a lot of weaknesses for different, things like addictives, like as Jay just now said. So, and on top of that, she is a cancer survivor. She had cancer. Now, she had a very tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband, which led her down the dark path. And this heroine in an interview said that she was feeling very low. First and foremost, I wanted help. It could be professional or friendly advice, help from someone who I could open up to. And it's some, and she said in their household, we normally tend to hide it and not come forward and seek help if we are depressed. And if we know there's someone in the family with the mental illness, we always like to put it under the carpet. We need to take professional help. If there is an ailment, there is no harm in taking help. If there's a problem or any kind of challenge, like physical, mental, there's always a cure waiting, provided you want the healing for yourself. Now, here again, we come back, friends, to the fact that she's talking about mental illness. Okay. Now, this is not mental illness. You are taking drugs, you're taking mood alternatives, you're taking so many things that are affecting your health. On top of that, you mix them with whatever other medicines you're taking. And these are all deadly cocktails. And if you don't do it, you don't fit into the circle. You remember very clearly that Kangana had said in an interview with Arnab that, see, the moment you enter a party, you will see that a whole table is spread with all sorts of, drugs. And you can choose anything, and then you can just go on a high. Nobody cares because everybody is high. Okay. So everything, what the cabal actually wants is to make sure that you lose all your inhibitions, you're caught in different compromising positions, and you can be blackmailed all your life. Simple as that. Nothing more to it. And this is what happens. And ultimately, as these all things will lead to cancer. So you see that many people, not only about, we are talking about Manisha Koirala. Sushmita also went under the same stuff. She also underwent some sort of surgeries and things. So this is not only restricted to a few people in the industry. Now, see, if you move to Parveen Babi. Parveen Babi was also one of the most successful actresses in Bollywood, and she was very sophisticated and a very I'm not saying that as an actress she was good, because she was rather wooden, but she gave that finesse to Bollywood which was not there before. And apparently, according to people who, whenever they saw her on the sets, she was a very decent person, came with her secretary, did her work and went off. But then she was caught in a trap when she got close to people like Mahesh Bhatt. And Mahesh Bhatt was the one, you will see like so many others who's responsible for the sudden change in her character, and how she was then drugged, and she was, she became sort of useless. She was at home and she put on a lot of weight, and she couldn't act in films. When she was one of the most slim and beautiful actresses, she went into the other extreme and she became a slave. These people want to make her a slave. See, because there was a point when she wanted to, expose what was happening in the cabal, just like what Sri Devi was going to do. Because at that time, some weapons were being hidden at in a place, and she knew all the information. She had the information. You remember the riots and the what happened in Mumbai. So at that time, she had some information about the cabal which she was going to reveal, and that is when she died. So just like Karthik says, she was so beautiful and elegant on screen, a very intelligent woman, very knowledgeable, and far ahead of her times. Danda says, when I saw Hira Mandi poster, I searched about Manisha Koirala, and showing she had 12 affairs, including Nana Patekar. There always one or more foreigners. Yes. So here again, see, Nanda, when we say affairs, what is the difference between having 12 affairs and being a prostitute? It's no different, So you had 12 customers, you can say. So it's, see, very sophisticatedly, they will say they had 12 affairs. But each of them, they don't mind sleeping with anybody or everybody. So it leads to other diseases as well. So we're not only talking about the bipolar variety, we're talking about sexually transmitted diseases as well. Now, another woman who suffered, though she says it is because of body shaming, but she also became depressed, and that was Elena de Cruz. Now, she says that, see, fame comes with a magnifying glass. Everything you do is up for scrutiny and condemnation. Now, she's worked in both Bollywood and Tollywood movies, and she struggled quite a lot with what she calls body dysmorphic disorder and depression, which at one point made her suicidal. So you'll see that all of these people we are mentioning wanted to commit suicide at some time. This actress has been open about her issues and is about raising awareness so that others can be in a better place too. So even Yo-Yo Singh is saying that, see, now he's going to do a documentary where he'll tell people, youngsters, that they should not do what he did. Okay. The same year, Elena also revealed that she had suicidal thoughts at one point in her life. I used to feel low and sad all the time, but didn't know I was suffering from depression and body dysmorphic disorder till I got help. At one point, I even had suicidal thoughts and wanted to end things. However, all of it changed when I accepted myself and what I was going through. I think that is the first step towards fighting depression. Here also, you remember Parveen Babi sought the help of Krishnamurti, thinking that he, as a philosopher, would help her in a spiritual path. That also went the wrong way. And she also had many affairs, like with Kabir Bedi and Mahesh Bhatt and many others. And it was all leading towards doomsday. It was that kind of thing for these people. So let me just take a few more comments as I go on. Vishal Lambu is a snake, yes. He was another person who, had an affair, they say, with Parveen Babi. Lambu is like the Kamala Haasan of Hindi cinema as far as intelligence is concerned. Less knowledge, but more hype and pretense. These film stars like Deepika Padukone always play a depression card for the unmoving as a PR stunt. Does people are directly or indirectly mocking people suffering with mental illness? No, here, Dhanishri, I'd just like to check. I'd like to sort of correct you because see, when you take this sort of deadly cocktail, which you will have to at one point if you want to be accepted by the cabal, these are the things what it leads to. So they are, see, they scramble for instant success, money, fame, gadi, sab kuch, they forget about what it's doing to them, physically. And so this is one of the reasons that it would have happened to her. Chitra, Parveen was feeling lonely after she broke her relationship with Kabir Bedi. She wanted a shoulder, and Mahesh moved in with her again while he was married to his first wife. Absolutely correct. Vishali, at least Kamal Haasan could dance, Karthik. Except for his voice, Lambu is a waste. Mahesh is a rakshas. So true. Makes me angry the more I see, says Vidya. Yes, Amitabh used Parveen. I remember on a show with Shekhar Suman, Parveen openly asked why Lambu is called as the most handsome hero. She said in front of Devanand, Feroz Khan, and others, what is he? Exactly. So we would also, I guess, relate with what she says. Now, Selva says depression is real because of your immediate environment. These celebrities surrounded themselves with fake friends. They no longer seek their family for advice and support. So,
Yeah, and
as
yeah, sorry.
yes,
I would like to interject here is that it is not only the sort of getting addiction to drugs, and also you have the most important thing in this case is all these actresses, they wanted to make a lot of money, right? They were behind the pursuit of making money at any cost, right? So once they got used to a very hi-fi lifestyle, having three, four houses, spending lakhs and crores of money on shopping, and also buying all the luxury vehicles. So all these things, once they get used to this kind of very luxurious lifestyle, and also getting attention from the fans, right? And so and not only that, they compare themselves to other actresses successes as well, whether the film was a success or a flop. So all these factors, when they fall, right, suddenly when they are not able to maintain their lifestyle, if their films flop, they are not offered any roles, that is when the depression kicks in, right, for these actresses. So that is also very plays a major role, right, in this
yeah,
depression.
yeah.
And now, when the Bollywood cabal wants to get rid of any outsider, even if the outsider is doing extremely well, they will peddle this depression theory as a sort of valid fact as to why he or she took his or her own life. just like what happened with the case of SSR and Jia Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GRA says Sanju Baba in Mumbai bomb weapon hidden in his apartment. Mahesh Bhatt's son involved in that. So he eliminated her in fear of getting exposed. Now, Divided Street says in the 80s, Telugu star Suman got involved in porn, got 5 years in jail. They say Chiranjeevi was jealous of Suman. Don't know the real story. Suman used to give drugs to women, and that's what I heard. Now, Karthik says, Kamal said about Rajnikant that he's suited for BJP because of his spirituality and other factors. Someone commented that's why you joined DMK because Karunanidhi had 3 wives. SSR is grounded, yet he was murdered because he was a threat, says Vishal. If Manisha K was a victim of depression, I choose to believe because she looks that way. She was very beautiful before that, but very suddenly she aged much beyond her age, unlike Deepika. Yes. Kamal
Yeah.
Haasan might not have studied rather regular school, but he's much more knowledge than most people who say they have done PhD.
So I just want to show followers and everyone who is live here a very interesting thing which has happened, which Hrithik Roshan shared on his Instagram, and this is the picture which he posted on Instagram lately. So this is supposed to be his body double, and who does it look like? If you take a close look, it looks like none other than Sushant Singh Rajput himself. And many people pointed out that fact that it looks very eerily, similar to Sushant Singh Rajput.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, he looks so similar to Sushant Singh Rajput.
Mhm.
I mean, his facial features.
What is his
And
name? Any idea?
I mean, in Hrithik Roshan's Instagram, he's just mentioned body double. Used
Okay.
for his action scenes in the film.
Yeah.
So
So Nanda says Ajay Devgan was behind
yeah,
Elena De Cruz. Kajol removed him from his life, just like Priyanka Chopra and Charsi Kumar Twinkle removed PC from Mumbai. So don't think anyone in Bollywood is genuine or a good guy. Okay, so then moving on to Shaheen Bhatt, daughter of Mahesh Bhatt. So she wrote a book called I've Never Been Unhappier, you know, which dealt with a crippling sort of depression for most of her life. The sister of Alia Bhatt, she explained in an Instagram post, 1 minute everything's fine, and the next it's like someone turned the light off inside my head. I go quiet and it's difficult to get off my bed. Like it does, the world around me loses focus, and I struggle to make sense of it. Sometimes these bouts last an hour, sometimes they last days. Now, who does who does she sound like? She sounds like exactly like Kangana Ranaut. When Kangana Ranaut was with this guy Pancholi, and under his grip and under Mahesh Bhatt's grip, this is exactly the kind of feelings that she also projected. So, which means when they are given drugs, this is the kind of feeling that they undergo, and they keep telling that it is depression or it is something like this, but it is actually the effect of all these, drugs that are taking shape, and come across as deep depression. Now, looking at Anushka, she said it may be tough to think of somebody who's so in control of themselves as being depressed, but it is possible. And she explained that, see, I had anxiety, and I was treating my anxiety with medicine because it's completely a normal thing. It's a biological problem. In my family, there have been cases of depression. More people should talk about it. There's nothing shameful about it. If you had a constant stomach pain, wouldn't you go to the doctor? It's that simple. I want to make this my mission to take any shame out of this, to educate people about this. Now you see, they suddenly become crusaders. Now who see, she is not. In fact, both of them. He also underwent depression. Virat Kohli. Now see, so we can say a couple who underwent depression. Okay, and see who is she to give us this sort of advice when you know that the whole of Bollywood is hooked onto drugs. This was very well exposed by Samir Wankade, but because of a person like Shah Rukh Khan, you know, every trace of those, interrogations were removed. So, if I take something which I'm not supposed to take, and it affects my health, I cannot generalize to people and say that, see, oh, you all should also go there. For what? For some medicine that I'm taking. It's like that. Bollywood is undergoing all this, and they tell us that it's all okay to go for depression and all that. Normal people don't have depression. Is Anushka Sharma, okay, the kind that you have. And moving on to see someone like Varun Dhawan. So Varun Dhawan, can you imagine? As it is, that this man doesn't have any brain from the way he acts. And see, at times I wonder how he's even a responsible husband, because when he walks with his wife, his wife is looking somewhere else, and he's looking somewhere else, and you think that they are two partners who are not at all, suitable for each other. Now this guy also underwent depression. Can you imagine someone dumb as him undergoing depression? He says it's difficult to go dark for a movie, but when he did Dhawan in the Shadows, when he played a man obsessed in Badlapur, he got so much into the skin of the character that he was left exhausted mentally. In an interview, he said, I was depressed. I was not clinically declared depressed, but I was heading there. I was very sad to a certain degree. I don't want to use the word depression loosely because it's a serious illness. It definitely affected my mental health. I was prescribed and did see a doctor for it as well. Now, with regards to this Varun Dhawan, he's got now, I read that he's got some other sort of disease also, So God alone knows from where all they get these diseases. What are they using? See, and also these people should be very, very careful because, see, countries like China are experimenting with drugs. You remember what Samir Wakade said very clearly, that China, are making more synthetic drugs which are more harmful. And they use countries like India, where they use these middle class children to find out the effects. And that, see, through that a victim was Janvi Kukreja. You remember the girl who died, on New Year's Eve. She was became the guinea pig, of a attack on her. 47 wounds, a drug attack. So when you look at this, these people are not aware. See, all you see is some red pill or some blue pill or some white pill or something, and they say, okay, this will take you to ecstasy. This will take you, you might have such a wonderful sex after that, and all this makes them think that it's all fine. But if you look at the latest drugs, even one this thing is enough to kill you. Okay, so these people, I know that they are uneducated because they don't, even if they are sent to Berkeley, universities like Berkeley or Cambridge or wherever, a person who's not going to study will not study. He will go into the other circle. Chitra, when you sell your
soul, you do live with the fear of being found out and being rejected. They live with this fear of rejection. Yes,
absolutely.
And also one thing which drives the Indian youth to taking all these drugs, and I'm talking about the well-to-do families who engage in these rave parties, the rich kids, right, in cities, because they are seeing all these kind of Hollywood and Bollywood films in which all these rave parties are being shown. They're being glamorized, and they're being shown as what is cool, right? I mean, if you do drugs, it is cool. So this is the kind of things which are happening in the ultra rich backgrounds of certain cities in India, and it is only with spreading awareness to all these youngsters that all these things can destroy your life, that we should be spreading this awareness by videos like ours, which we are doing right now. So friends, I urge each and everyone on the chat to hit the like button and share this video with your friends, your family, so that more and more lives can be saved from destruction. Yeah, back to you.
The United States of America says the anti-India is trying to break our youth. Punjab is very high in drugs too. Now, see, what Jaidev just now mentioned is a very important point, because these rave parties are meant, for those who are already high on drugs, to go, it can break you up. Because you remember, see, if you see some films on OTT, you'll see that certain sequence of flashlights or quick,
Strobes,
series of strobes can make you go into, it can give you
epileptic,
fits,
epileptic
epileptic
attacks.
fits. So these are all meant to do that. Okay, so you have to see, yes, definitely what divided streets of America said is true, because it is people like Soros who wants to break up India, and we have enough people within India who are doing it. The only solution is to fight, is to say mantras and
Yes,
japas. I mean, pray as per your religion and have faith in supreme depression will run away.
yes, well
Now,
said,
see,
Todd.
let's listen to what this girl has to say. Now, Shruti Haasan, she also openly talked about it in the past. She had a request for all the celebrities who open up about their personal battles. Let the dialogue and conversation around depression or anxiety not be limited to just talking about it sporadically. In an interview with Gulf News, she had a bone to pick with public figures who spoke about mental health only when it's significant day in an annual calendar. It's a disservice to all those who struggle with grave mental health issues daily, believe the standard who suffers from anxiety. It can't be a trump card that you pull once a year. You have to keep talking about mental health. Recovery of any kind is about constantly addressing it and being aware of it. I don't agree with people who do it for a season or on mental health awareness alone, she said. Now, here, we all know that, see, she is the famous daughter of Kamala Hassan, but we also know that she's also been undergoing a series of relationships. Okay. Now, this itself, these, it's like when you have this passing, the passer. It's the same thing with these girls in filmdom. Because of the kind of looks they want to achieve, they want to feel that they are the most beautiful and attractive people. So they keep changing boyfriends based on the amount of wealth he has. And in this instance, I'd like to tell people that, see, I was watching an interview of it's a series with this girl, from Tamil Nadu. What is her name, Jagit? The one of the top actresses, the Sindhi, uh,
Samantha,
not Samantha. This Sindhi girl who just got married recently to her friend's
Hansika,
husband.
Hansika.
Hansika, yes. So there is a series now on Hotstar about Hansika getting married. You cannot believe it. She is a woman with tantrums, and she is a woman who wants everything there and then. She doesn't think about the money or anything. This is how you could describe everybody from Sonam Kapoor to everybody. They think that, see, they have got, because they have so much money, they can throw it around, they can do whatever they like. They do not know one day what happens. As for instance, what happened in Turkey? Just an earthquake, and so many people died, and so many were homeless. What happens then? You don't know about life. Anything can happen tomorrow. So these people, they are so arrogant. People like Kamala Hassan's daughter, they are so arrogant. They think that, see, just because she underwent depression, we should be talking about depression all the year through. When we're not depressed, we're all people who are struggling hard to make our money. Okay, we work
So,
hard.
talking about struggle, friends, I would like to show you one interesting picture. Is one second. And this is the picture which I wanted to share. So recently, you can make out the two nepotistic kids, Sara Ali Khan and Ananya Pandey. They recently went to Doha for some sort of, I think fashion jewelry shoot. And apparently, if you remember back then Ananya Pandey said that she was a struggling actress in Bollywood, and it's all part of the struggle. And it was kind of hilarious that she was trying to sort of justify as to why she is given roles in Bollywood, by the likes of Karan Johar. So this is another example of how nepotistic kids are faking maybe depression theory just to justify their being given roles by Karan Johar. Yeah.
Absolutely. Jyotsna says celebrities can create a sense of empathy with the audiences talking about depression, mainly youth, which in turn helps to build stronger connections with their fans or followers. Vishali says, I don't know much about Shruti, but she looks like she has had many plastic surgeries. They have no moral compass which can guide them even when they go through, says Chitra. A bad face. Karthik says, I knew someone who actually worked with KH for Kamal Haasan for decades, and he told some shocking truths about them. Can't disclose his name, but it's from a valid source. I don't lie for lie's sake. Now, Shruti can't act either. I hate Sara Ali Khan. She wasn't so much connected with the SSR in a negative way. I only remember NCB office when I see Sara and Ananya, says Hera. They're just trying to encourage youth by saying it's okay to be taking drugs and using the theory, absolutely, of depression. Yeah. What about the person who spoke about? How is he? Now, if you move on to uh, another person, that is, we're talking about Gejo and we're talking about Karan Johar. Now, Karan Johar also at one time spoke about in an interview that he was so at one time he was so depressed and anxious for more than a year because he didn't have his life under control. And he was taking several anti-anxiety medication to get it all under control. So he is also a big believer in taking therapy along with medications. Now, another woman who tried to, show that she was very close with Sushant was Ankita Lokani. She also spoke about her battle with depression after her breakup with the Sushant Singh Rajput. In a fan interaction recently, she spoke about how her family helped her get through the dark phases in her life. She spoke about how the end of a romantic partnership had made her question her reason for living. I've been through depression myself. मैं भी बहुत बुरी हालत में थी. मुझे भी तकलीफ हुई थी. मुझे भी बहुत रोना आया था. In other words, I was in bad shape, I was in a lot of pain and used to cry a lot. But I had only my family, friends, and a few fans who had been with me right from the start. I really respect that, she said. But here, I would like to very clearly say that, see, if there was exploitation of some sort, it would have only been of Sushant. Because Sushant was too decent a man to even, hurt anybody. This woman has been moving around, dancing and romping around with all the men in town, and then suddenly she says that she's disappointed because Sushant ditched her. I mean, that doesn't ring a bell at all. Now, another very interesting case is that of Farhan Akhtar's wife, Shivani Dandekar. So she opened up about her battle with depression in a bid to destigmatize mental health. So you see, all this effort is only to destigmatize that, which means that you accept it as normal, okay? So that you will not question where is it coming from, the drugs and the alcohol and everything. So she, who was, earlier she was dating Farhan, spoke about how therapy had helped her tremendously. I've suffered from depression in the past. I work with a therapist twice a month. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, even though I love my life and I'm happy. There are things that I need to work through a therapist with, and I think that's what totally acceptable, and it's okay. Dandekar was telling in an interview. And after you work with a therapist, a lot of your sentences start with what my therapist says. I think that's the way you should just move on in life. And it's important to really make that something that people do not need to hide. She continued. Now here, see, this was the theme of one of the movies that Alia Bhatt acted in. You remember? There was this Pakistani actor and Siddharth Malhotra. They were having a gay relationship, and she was in love with the therapist who was Shah Rukh Khan. So these people say, you should go to a therapist. A middle class person can afford a therapist. Are they all trying to show that they come from Hollywood? That you need a shrink. Every time you undergo a drug fit, you overdose. Look at the way they talk. They talk as though they are some Kim Kardashian, or some Hollywood this thing. They don't realize that India is a country where people are struggling to make their lives, secure. Just because they get black money, and they drive in these cars that are given to them free of cost, they think that life is hunky-dory. And then the most unexpected person of all is Bhumi Pednekar. Now, she started her journey in a very unconventional way. She portrayed, the role of a overweight woman for her debut instead of some glam role. But later she lost all that weight. Now she also says that she underwent, depression, and she's been criticized, severely for her, the way she dresses and the way she looks. So again, here she's talking about how body shaming has made her undergo a lot of depression. These are so trivial things, you know. And see, the funny thing is that, see, for us, if you look at us viewers, these are not the things that really worry us. What worries us is that, what will our children do in the future? Will they be able to stand on their own feet? Can they look after themselves after we die? So these are the things that we worry about. These people have this silliest problems, and they make it such big, dinosaurs, and they say that, see, let's talk about it every day. Okay, then make a movie every day on depression, and you guys only see it. It's so ridiculous the way these people talk. It has become fashionable to say they've been through depression, says Chitra. Probably they want sympathy and want to project they are strong-willed women. Here, Chitra, this other thing is also they want to split apart society and show that, women can do drinks and drugs and all that and go depressed. It's all normal. So they're trying to build it as a part of Indian society problems. So that's also another way of, dissecting it. SSR never had depression. Please stop this. Yeah. SSR never had depression. I saw many. He was too intelligent to fall into their game. Literally everybody in Katterwood is depressed and have mental health issues. Seems like a pattern. The poison, the young minds. Focus on rat race for money and fame has left our youth alone to decide what they feel is right or convenient. Strong parent-child relationship can have positive impact on kids' well-being. Psychotherapist is $1 million industry across the world. Probably they are the agents, and maybe they get paid for promotion therapy. Living and going along with the journey along with make me understand a bit about depression. Yes, I agree that SSR was never under depression. Those crappy people medicated him and ruined his life. They have dual personalities, they show something, and they behave differently. This channel is dispelling myths, and what is being said here is being said after all the research. No opinions, only truth, as candid as it can be. Thank you for that, Karthik. And it is when I heard this interview with Honey Singh that I said that we have to show how this has become a pattern and how they are trying to normalize it in a world where all of us are struggling with so many other problems, in life. They try to show this as, as one of the biggest problems that India faces. Dhanashri says, there is a Tamil movie on drugs starring Dhanush where it showed how these creative animation companies give drugs to their employees for creativity. It's a skin show. This Bhumi was so simple, now looks bizarre. Finally, troll is here. So who is this troll now? I think Jadevi, we need to kick them out.
No
Just
idea.
join, but we'll watch a full session later. Manisha Koirala was successful during 90s. Subhash Ghai's Saudagar. Bhumi's dressing these days is horrible. Okay. So this is the guy. Okay. Does a middle class woman only look for love or physical intimacy? They have, yes, exactly. Karthik. This channel, yeah. So we have already discussed that as well.
Also, don't forget the fact that there is one more very important aspect of this whole depression, being sold by Bollywood, whether it is real or whether it is fake. Also, don't forget the fact that the beauty industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, billions of dollars are being spent, or I mean, at least millions of dollars are being spent by all these Bollywood actors and actresses, to undergo cosmetic surgeries. So all these products, all these cosmetic products, they also will be spending a lot of money on by funding the Bollywood film. So they are also give a lot of funding for Bollywood, all these cosmetic products, all the beauty related products, right? By encouraging the use of Botox injection, by doing a lot of facelifts. So that's how they are also surviving. So don't forget the fact that the beauty industry is also supporting the Bollywood in a huge way.
Karthik says if they really suffer from depression, they won't be alive to say so. You will feel pathetic. So much that depending on mood swings, you may end up killing yourself. But have you noticed, Karthik, that none of the Nepo kids ever die the way Sushant died? They're talking about depression. They talk about so many other problems. But nothing really happens to them. They are hunky dory, traveling to Doha and to Switzerland and to other places, enjoying, having fun. So true, Jaydev. I'm noticing a lot of young girls with so much makeup. Confidence comes from within. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Some doctors are not trustworthy as they are agents to most of the medications and drugs. So parents have to be very careful while getting their youth treated, as I've seen many cases myself, says Jyotsna. So on this note, we will end this session. Friends, please share this session with others so that we educate as we go. Because as Karthik said, these are things that nobody's going to discuss. Because every time there's a depression, it will become the front page for Times of India and for all the other mainstream media and say that poor Deepika needs help, please help her. But we've been trying to tell you that there's a whole story behind it, and what they're trying to create. So thank you for being here and passing your valuable comments. So let me just take one more comment from Karthik. Minaji, depression affects the brain. If these Nepo kids are not suffering, it can only mean one thing. Absolutely. Yeah. If your heart is pure, it reflects on your face. Says Swati. Good night. Yes, thank you. Good night and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.